Derek was exhausted when he arrived at the old roadside motel. The storm had slowed traffic to a crawl, and visibility was nearly zero. All he wanted was a warm bed and silence. The receptionist handed him a key with a strange look. "Room 313, she said, almost hesitantly. "Everything okay?" Derek asked. She hesitated. "You're the only guest tonight. Just let me know if anything feels off." That was comforting. The room was musty, the walls yellowed with age, but the bed looked clean enough. Derek dropped his suitcase and collapsed onto the mattress. The thunder outside rumbled like something growling. As he started to drift off, a soft knock echoed from the hallway. Just once. He checked the peephole. Nothing. Weird. He lay back down. Another knock, louder. Still just once. He got up again, opened the door, and the hallway was empty. This time, when he turned around, he noticed something. The bathroom door was ajar. He didn't remember it being open before. He walked over and slowly pushed it open. The bathroom was empty, but written on the fogged-up mirror, as if someone had breathed on it recently, was a message. "Don't stay in this room." His blood ran cold. He wiped the mirror clean, heart pounding, trying to calm down. Maybe it was a prank. Maybe the staff thought it was funny. Then the lights flickered, and the knock came again. But this time from inside the room. He turned toward the closet. It was cracked open just enough to show blackness behind the door. His breath caught. His instincts screamed. Step by step, he crept to the closet. He reached out, then yanked the door open. Empty. Nothing but his suitcase. He laughed nervously. Okay, I'm officially losing it. Then his phone buzzed. Unknown number. We warned you. He dropped the phone. The power went out. In the darkness behind him, he heard the closet door creak shut. Then a whisper. You should have listened. Derek backed away from the mirror, breath shallow. The message, next, slowly faded into the glass like it had never been there. Then, without warning, the closet door creaked open behind him. Not just ajar, wide open, but it wasn't a closet anymore. It was a dark, spiraling staircase descending deep into the unknown. There was no way that could physically exist in a one-floor motel room, but the air that poured from it was cold, real, and it smelled like earth, and something older. His phone buzzed. Unknown number. The way out is down. Heart hammering, Derek stood at the threshold. Every rational part of him screamed to run, break a window, climb out. But when he turned back toward the room, the door was gone. The bed, the lamp, the walls, gone. Only the mirror remained, now cracked slightly. It showed his reflection, staring back, breathing hard. But then his reflection smiled, even though he wasn't. Snap. The mirror cracked deeper. Derek turned and stepped down. Each stair creaked beneath his feet, and the light from his phone began to flicker the further he descended. After what felt like minutes, he realized the stairs weren't ending. He wasn't even sure if he was moving anymore. The walls shifted from drywall to aged brick, then wet stone, dripping with something black. Finally, he reached the bottom. A long, narrow underground corridor stretched ahead of him, dimly lit by flickering bulbs. On each side of the hallway were motel doors, every single one labeled 313. From behind one, he heard sobbing, another scratching, a third something whispered, "Help me!" But he kept walking, because at the end of the hallway was another mirror, waiting. Derek stared into the fogged mirror. He expected to see his own reflection again, maybe grinning, maybe worse. But this time there was nothing, just mist, until a pale handprint pressed slowly against the other side of the glass. Then another and another. Dozens of handprints, small and large, ghosting across the mirror's surface. Some smeared downward like they were trying to claw their way out. Then the mirror cracked. Once, twice, shatter. The glass exploded outward, not inward, and Derek shielded his face. When he looked again, the mirror was gone. In its place, another hallway, longer, darker. More doors marked 313, hundreds of them. Thousands. Some were old and wooden. Others were steel, rusted or chained shut. One was made entirely of bone. Derek stepped through. The air here felt heavier. Breathing was harder, like the atmosphere itself didn't want him to continue. As he walked, the lights overhead flickered violently, casting his shadow in 1,000 directions. Each door pulsed faintly, like something inside them breathed. One door creaked open as he passed, just a crack. A single eye stared out, not human. He didn't stop. A loud bang echoed from behind. Another door flung open and a figure stumbled out, bloody, bruised, wearing the exact same clothes as Derek. He turned. It was him. A future version, or past, or something else entirely. The other Derek limped forward. "Don't go any further," he said through clenched teeth. "You can't get out this way." Then he dissolved into ash. Gone. Derek backed away, too shocked to scream, and bumped into a door behind him. It opened, sucked him inside. Darkness, weightless, falling. And then he landed. In another motel room, different wallpaper, same layout. Room number on the door, 313. Only this time the door had no handle. And outside the window was another Derek, staring in. But this one wasn't smiling. He was screaming, silently, slamming his fists against the glass. And behind him, something was coming. Something tall, crawling, wearing his skin. Derek sat frozen, staring at the grotesque creature outside the window. It wore his face, his skin, but its eyes were all wrong. Too wide, too black, too still. It raised one malformed hand and placed it gently against the glass, mirroring Derek's expression of horror with a crooked mockery of emotion. Then it mouthed something. 3 words, no sound.
"Let me in."
Derek backed away, heart pounding. The lights in the room flickered violently and then went out. Complete blackness. He fumbled blindly, searching for a corner, a wall, anything solid. When the lights returned, the room had changed. Again. No window, no door, just walls and a mirror. The same mirror. But this time it wasn't fogged. It showed a clear reflection, him standing in a blank, sterile version of the same motel room. But in the mirror he was smiling, slowly, deliberately. And then the mirror version moved, without him. It lifted its hand and pointed behind him. Derek turned slowly. Now there was a door, but not 313. It was labeled 0. A low hum vibrated through the room, like the sound of an old engine idling in the basement of reality. The mirror Derek vanished. The door creaked open. Inside was a spiral staircase descending. Flickering lights led down into an abyss. With no other option, Derek stepped in and began to descend. Each step downward felt heavier than the last, like time thickened the further he went. The walls pulsed with a fleshy glow, and whispers echoed upward from below, hundreds of voices saying his name all at once. He passed a landing where a rusted metal sign hung crookedly. No exit. Another turn, another landing, the same sign. Another turn, another landing. The same sign, except now someone had scratched in red beneath it. "Stop walking." Derek kept walking. Finally, at the bottom, he reached a vast underground chamber, circular, domed, and filled with mirrors. Thousands of them, arranged like a maze. Each mirror showed a different version of Derek, angry, terrified, laughing, crying, decaying. In the center of the room, a massive mirror stood alone, 10 feet tall, with nothing reflected in it at all. Then it cracked. From behind it, something started to push through, a mass of shadow and flesh, shifting violently. Derek stepped back as the surface split open like wet paper, revealing not a creature but a hole, a swirling black void. It pulled at him. He fought it, screamed, dug his nails into the ground. And then, just as the darkness swallowed him, he opened his eyes. He was back in the motel room, room 313. Same layout, same bed, same mirror. A knock came at the door. He stood slowly, opened it. No one there. Down the hallway, infinite doors, each one marked 313. His reflection grinned back from every surface. But this time, Derek didn't step forward. He turned back to the mirror and saw something new. A flicker. Weakness. The loop had started again. But maybe, just maybe, it could be broken. Derek stared into the mirror.
"You're not me,"
he said again. The reflection flickered, then began to change, morphing into other versions of himself, looping through expressions. Laughter, pain, rage, despair. The room pulsed. He took a step forward, not toward the hallway, not into another loop, but toward the mirror. This time, instead of waiting for it to crack, Derek raised his fist and struck the glass. It didn't shatter, it rippled. Light bled from the surface, stretching across the walls like veins. The whispers grew chaotic, panicked. Room 313 groaned around him, as if it was alive and waking up. He kept punching, harder, until the surface caved in like a membrane. He fell through. Inside, a corridor of pure white, silent, still. He ran. No doors, no signs, just light and the sound of his own breath. Behind him, something screamed, a sound that wasn't human. He didn't look back. At the corridor's end, a door, plain, unmarked. He opened it. Daylight, a real sky, real air. He stepped into a grassy field. No 313, no mirror, no echo. Just birds, wind, freedom. The loop was gone. For now.